great to have your company. We often talk about myopia in a cultural sense. Someone who's culturally myopic, for instance, but it is a significant eye condition that affects about 5 million people in Australia. Now, we've just ticked over to 24 million people. Imagine if there were 22 million people in Australia with myopia or short-sightedness. And apparently, it's not just something you can cure with glasses. It can lead to other eye conditions. And one of our local optometrists is seriously concerned about it, and he sees a lot of people developing myopia at his Warrawong practice. His name's Ray Bayani, and he joins us now. Hello, Ray.
Good morning, Nick.
What causes myopia?
Myopia essentially is eye that is growing too long, longer than it should. And what causes it, genetics up until recent years was thought to be a major factor, and it is a major factor. But in recent times, mounting evidence has shown that environmental is also another major factor, perhaps more bigger than genetics.
So, more than genetics, so that is, you can bring it on by focusing on things that aren't far away far too often. Have I got that right?
Yes, that's right. By focusing too close and staying indoors, like studies in East Asian countries, Taiwan, South Korea, Singapore, places like that have shown, because people, first of all, kids are very studious in those countries. They study a lot, as well as they live in close apartments. So studies have shown that if kids get out into as little as 40 minutes a day during the day and go into open spaces in the sunlight, it significantly reduces the chance of developing myopia.
Right, so you almost have to train your eyes by not being inside and looking at screens all day. You've got to go outside and look at the horizon.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Look at far distances and bright sunlight, that's correct.
Is it like using a muscle? Does your eye get lazy in a way and it just can't focus easily on far objects?
Well, yes, that's one theory that, there's a lot of research going on, but that's one theory, that the eye focuses up close and, it's not focused at long distance. The open spaces, then when you go to, your eyes focus at long distance, that helps. Vitamin D is another factor being considered. There is another...
So vitamin D, which you only get from sunlight, might be a factor in myopia.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So is dopamine, which is retinal dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter, which regulates the eye growth. And dopamine secretion in the eye is inhibited in dim lights.
That's interesting. So there may be some truth to the stereotype that people with glasses are a bit more serious and studious.
Maybe.
They don't quite have the dopamine. Look, I'm wearing glasses as we speak, but I'm actually more long-sighted. It's more presbyopia, for instance.
Yes.
It's more age-related.
Yes.
But I was disturbed to read that myopia could turn into something much more serious, macular degeneration and glaucoma.
Yes.
Why is that? What's the sort of medical pathway there?
Sure. Well, essentially, as I said, myopia is a long eyeball. When the eyeball grows too long, when you're born with a certain amount of eye tissue, retinal tissue, for example. And when the eyeball grows beyond this, what is supposed to grow, more than it's supposed to naturally grow, the amount of retinal tissue that you have, retina in particular, stretches and becomes thin. So your macula becomes thin. So you develop myopic macular degeneration, and retinal detachment is another condition. Now, these don't happen in sort of low amounts of myopia. This happens in the sort of higher amounts of myopia. However, kids are starting becoming myopic at younger age these days, and they're progressing rather more rapidly. So there is more chance of them becoming high myopia in later life.
Okay. Can you do anything about it? I've often thought, I hate my glasses, and I would love there to be some sort of operation or be able to do laser therapy on them, but apparently they can't. Can you do anything with someone who's severely myopic?
Well, this is the key, Nick, that in young age, you have to address it in young age, and in young age it is caught early enough, yes, things can be done. So my first advice would be to parents out there to get your kids to spend less time on tablets and get them to go outdoors, spend time outdoors.
Yep.
We have plenty of structure in Australia, so that's easy. The next one at the clinical level we can do is a technique called orthokeratology, ortho-K for short. Basically, it's like orthodontics, where you wear braces for your teeth. This is braces for your eyes. It involves wearing these special molding lenses during sleep at night, And what it does during sleep, it reshapes and it remolds your eyes.
Braces for your eyes, right?
Yes,
Good
basically.
Lord. So it's a kind of like a mask that goes on the
Well,
face?
basically, it gets a bit technical here, but I'll try to explain. Basically, what it does, it reshapes the cornea, the front part of the eye, the front focusing mechanism, the front window of your eye. And basically, when you're myopic, the eyeball is naturally is not spherical; it's like elliptical, oblong shape.
Right,
So
okay.
when you're myopic,
You're changing the focus, just like focusing a camera.
that's right, yeah. So when you're myopic, when you get an object, the image of the object falls in front of your retina. Now, the retina is the tissue at the back of the eye, like a screen where the picture forms on it. Now, when you correct myopia with traditional glasses or traditional contact lenses, they push the image back from the front of the retina onto the retina, and that's how you can see clear. Now, the trouble with those, what this research has shown, is that they focus the image on the central part of the retina. And on the peripheral retina, the image actually falls behind the retina. And what happens, this gives the eye an incentive to go back and work on forever backwards to catch up with that image which is behind it. Hence causing the eye elongation.
So once you start to, not exercise that muscle, the eye naturally follows. It's almost like the muscle's atrophying.
That's right. So what happens is when you wear this lens at night time, it reshapes the cornea, the front window of your eye. In the morning when you wake up, you remove those lenses, so the light is focused on your central retina as well as peripheral retina. So the eye has got less incentive to grow backwards. So the eye doesn't grow as much, and therefore it stops the progression of myopia.
So the simple takeaway advice really is to make sure you and your kids are getting outside, looking at the horizon, getting a little bit of sunlight.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Yeah.
Ray, I'm very glad to meet you, and thanks for having a chat to me.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
See you later. That's Ray Bayani, who's an optometrist out of Warrawong. This is The Morning Show, 97.3 ABC Illawarra.